Today, I'm sharing one of the greatest comeback stories ever, and our protagonist is none other than the 2023 World Chess Champion, Liren. In sports, the most tragic stories are usually revolving around injuries, because they make you question if a great player can ever return to top form. NBA players Gordon Hayward and Paul George both broke bones in terrifying fashion on court, but they eventually returned to playoff level basketball. The GOAT of golf, Tiger Woods, got into a high-speed car crash in 2021, but yet he was able to rise from the ashes and return to the PGA Tour. Now for Liren, we have to go back in time to June of 2018. He was playing in the Norway Chess tournament, which included so many top-level GMs, including Magnus Carlsen. But that didn't faze Ding, because Ding was on an absolute tear. He had gone 77 consecutive classical chess games unbeaten. After drawing against the former World Chess Champion Vishy Anand in round 3, there was a rest day. Liren went for a bike ride with his father and unfortunately fell off and fractured his hip. He did not realize the severity of his injury yet, and there was a cook-off planned by the tournament organizers. Even though he was in severe pain, Ding persevered and wanted to pay his respects to the organizers and attend this event. Not only did he attend, he also won the cook-off. This guy could not be stopped in chess. He could not be stopped in cooking either. He's unbelievable. But then he did go to the hospital and they told him just how bad his injury was and that he actually did require surgery. This forced him to withdraw from the Norway Chess event as Ding had to embark on a journey of recovery. Fast forward 3 months later, and Liren gets called upon by his national team to go compete at the Chess Olympiad. He's still on crutches, but he's a team player and he shows up for the challenge. On the top board for his team, he's facing against the best of the other top chess nations. In the game of the tournament, Liren plays against Poland's prodigy, Jan-Krzysztof Duda, and we have to take a look at that game, and then we'll see how the story finishes. We have Ding with the white pieces playing d4, and we see knight f6 from Duda. We quickly get into a queen's gambit declined, but then Duda actually accepts. He says, sure, I will take your pawn on c4, but that gives up the center. So you get an extra pawn, but the compensation for white is that they get 2 central pawns. Duda immediately plays b5, saying, okay, well, if you do take that, then you lose your central pawn. So, of course, Ding says, no, instead, I will play e5 first. The knight moves. Now I'll take your pawn. Now it's equal material, but Ding still has his great center. Knight b6, bishop e2, both players trying to castle, and that's what we get. And now Ding says queen f4. Since Duda gambited the b pawn, he says, okay, well, at least let me try and put my rook on an open file. Ding doesn't like that his knight is a little bit of a loose piece there, so he brings it back. After f5, Ding could en passant, but the memes of the 2020s haven't arrived yet, so he doesn't know that it's forced. Instead, he just plays queen g3, lining up the queen to the king, and Duda says, I don't like that, because then, potentially bishop h6 comes, and, you're threatening mate, so then, I might have to give you the exchange. So Duda makes this nice move, king h8. Rook d1, very nice move to line up the rook with black's queen, and then we see knight b4. b3 takes, and a6. Now, after bishop c4, Ding's got his pawn and his bishop connected on light squares, and we see knight to c2. Temporarily, the two players debate whether they want to have a threefold repetition, which is an automatic draw, but Ding says, no, rook e2. Let's not draw, let's go and fight on. After a5, Ding says, I'm ready to strike in the center. Let's go with d5, a square that is covered 1, 2, 3, 4 different times and only supported 1, 2, 3 times. So if you're doing math, then you realize, Ding, what are you doing? That doesn't make sense. But after e takes d5, you actually can't take this bishop because then you'd be hanging your queen. That's why rook d1 was played. So now, ignoring this whole thing, Ding just plays e6. He's like, I'm not even concerned. And after bishop d6, Ding just says, okay, you are now attacking my bishop again, and you're attacking my queen. Because you can take this bishop, because the rook is no longer seeing the queen immediately, the bishop is on d6. After queen h3, we see queen f6, curing that problem forever, and Ding just does not care. Instead of doing anything about this bishop, he plays the only move that doesn't lose any advantage, knight b5, double exclam. saying, okay, go ahead, take. I'll take your bishop, and after you take my knight, I'm just down a piece. But I don't care, because I'm pushing e7, and I got a passed pawn. This passed pawn is basically equivalent to a piece because there's so many threats with it. This is grandmaster level stuff. I would not recommend doing this in your own games unless you see the point, because chess is hard. But after rook e8 to stop the pawn from pushing even further, we get knight to g5. Ding says, okay, now that you're focusing all your attention on my e7 pawn, well, I'm going to go ahead and threaten mate. So, of course, Duda has to respond to that, and we see queen g6. And this is where things go from crazy to chaos. Ding here finds the only winning move. Feel free to pause the solve and try and find it yourself. The only winning move here is rook takes d6. Ding says, I'm down a piece. I just don't care. I'll throw another piece at you. Because if you take that, it's just mate in one. So what does Duda do? Sorry. I didn't realize that was going to sound funny. But basically, Duda says, okay, you want to attack my queen? I mean, it's pretty much trapped. I can't not guard this square, but I can at least attack your queen. So after rook takes and bishop takes, you're in a pickle because white's down material. You're about to lose some more. So it gets a little bit tricky. Instead, what Ding does is he finds queen h4. Still keeping this threat of mate and still trying to deflect the queen. Duda says, well, f4 not only attacked your queen, but also opened an escape route for my queen. So queen b1, I'm threatening back rank mate. Ding defends that. And after bishop f5 to further reinforce h7, Ding says now is the time to strike. Rook d8. If you want to take, I just simply take. You cannot take on e1 because you're pinned. And if you take here, well, I just royally fork you. And when you move, I take your rook. You can take my knight, that's fine. But now I just go king hunting and you run to the edge of the board and I take on f4, conveniently defending my bishop as well so you can't back rank checkmate me. Duda probably didn't like how his king was about to be hunted and checkmated, so instead of playing rook takes d8, he simply plays bishop g6. But the issue is that Ding can now take on b8. After you take back, queen takes f4, again adding a defender to this bishop here, and after rook g8, we get knight f7. After bishop takes, queen takes, where do you go? Duda plays knight d7, desperately trying to add some defenders, but after Ding promotes knight f6, there's a beautiful knockout blow, bishop to g5. It's a discovered attack on your queen. So even though Duda thought that this queen was actually a big threat to back rank checkmate, now it is a big liability. You cannot take on e8 because then you will lose your queen and you're down significant material. So no matter what black tries in this position, Ding Liren will be victorious. With this win and his performance in the Chess Olympiad, Ding Liren extended his unbeaten streak by another 8 games. He helps Team China win gold medal, and he even earns a gold medal individually for being the best board 1 across the entire event. This story just proved why Ding Liren was champion material even before winning the 2023 World Chess Championship. If you want to hear more Ding stories, then go check out one of these 2 videos over here. Happy learning, everyone.